$14 billion worth of Bitcoin options are set to expire on Friday, and this is going to have a major impact on the Bitcoin price. And we're going to get to that. But first, we have to talk about the current Bitcoin action and the TA. Now, you can see here that the super trend is indicating a sell. This is something I pointed out in a video a couple of weeks ago, and saying that Bitcoin right now is in kind of a decline, at least the price is temporarily. Now, when this super trend actually goes to sell, what it means is that Bitcoin will continue on in the sell pattern here until it finally climbs above the red line here outlined at about 109,791. Now, alternatively, Bitcoin has been moving lower and lower, and especially after the recent events in the Middle East and this particular market panic, we actually saw Bitcoin go down below 100K. This is something worth to monitor. And this support right here is super critical to that level. It's sitting here at about $100-ish thousand. Look at this level for some strong support potentially of Bitcoin, because it's a round number and people tend to gravitate around round numbers. So for the moment, we have kind of a bearish chart. Things can change in the future, especially with the big options expiry that we have coming up on Friday. If you go to Deribit and you take a look at the options expiry for the 27th of June, which is just 5 days away, you can see here that we have about $14 billion worth of Bitcoin options set to expire. This is huge right now, and the max paying price is sitting at about $101,000, basically where Bitcoin is right now. So traders right now mostly are bullish on one side and bearish on the other side. We can see here that the put call ratio is sitting at about 0.71 right now, and what that means is that there's more bulls out there than bears, because the put call ratio, as it goes closer to, let's say, 1, that would be more even puts to calls. Puts tend to be bearish and calls are bullish on the Bitcoin options. So what we have here right now is a market that's mostly bullish, but the bullishness is kind of outweighed by the fact that you have this max paying price at 101. So what this tends to mean is that $101,000 is where the most pain would occur in options holders, and that, generally speaking, is where the Bitcoin price is going to gravitate towards. So this is, potentially speaking, we're going to wind up seeing Bitcoin move sideways, and we could wind up seeing it gravitate towards this 101 region, move down just a little bit by the end of the week. But that being said, it's honestly huge. I haven't really seen such a large expiry on Friday. This is $14 billion worth of options. Do expect that there's going to be some extreme volatility throughout the week as more things happen in the Middle East. And I will be paying attention to this very closely. Just know that we have this huge expiry coming up. Now, Bitcoin has gone through several liquidation events over the past couple of days. You can see here that crypto in general has gone over $500 million in long liquidations one day, 500 another day, another $400 million the next day. So we've had almost 3 straight days of very high long liquidations. If you take a look at Bitcoin, for instance, it follows the same pattern: 100 million here, 120 here, almost 200 million here. And longs have just kind of gotten annihilated over the past couple of days as volatility has grown and the issues regarding what's going on in the Middle East right now have continued to develop. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about something very interesting, something very positive for the Bitcoin movement and crypto as a whole, and that is that the U.S. Senate passed a stablecoin bill back on the 17th or so of June. I wanted to cover this before, but now we have positive confirmation that the Senate passed this bill dubbed the Genius Act. It was passed 68-30, so one of the very rare bipartisan bills that have passed the Senate. Now, as a reminder, this still has to go to the House, and it still has to be signed off by the president in order for it to become law. But this is huge, because now you have a bill that's designed to regulate stablecoins. Okay, so the fact that it's regulating stablecoins means that this is actually a further adoption of Bitcoin and the crypto as a whole. This is one step in the right direction, because a lot of people go and they buy stablecoins and then they use those stablecoins to fund their other crypto investments. So this is something that's huge right now. If it does actually get passed, I'm definitely going to be covering it a little bit more in detail in a further video. And specifically, what it means for the crypto industry and how incredibly bullish it is. This is setting the groundwork. If you're looking for long-term returns and with Bitcoin and you're looking for that adoption, this right here is exactly what you want to see. Now, I'm not going to bore you and go through the details, but just know that once this actually does get passed, I'll do more of an in-depth video. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the So Value ETF tracker. Okay, so for the past couple of weeks, we've seen positive inflows to ETFs. We've seen $1 billion on 1 week, and then the last week, $1.4 billion around that inflows to Bitcoin spot ETFs. This has actually been pretty strong over the past couple of weeks, despite the fact that we've seen such huge uncertainty and the fact that the Bitcoin price has mostly kind of drifted lower in the past couple of weeks. But it just underscores the adoption right now that's going on with Bitcoin. And when you compare that with the exchange reserve, which is the number of Bitcoin on exchanges, this continues to go lower and lower and lower. And you can bet that as the volatility increases for Bitcoin, chances are you're going to wind up getting more and more Bitcoin that exit the exchange. We can see here that over the past couple of weeks, we've had a nice little drop in the amount of Bitcoin that are available on exchanges. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, very simply, is the Bitcoin MVRV Z-Score. Now, the MVRV Z-Score is used by many people who follow the crypto industry and traders to determine whether or not Bitcoin's kind of undervalued or overvalued relative to its market performance. So you have the market value, which is divided by the realized value, and then you get a what they call Z-score. You can see the actual formulation here at the bottom. But just know that based on the Z-score, we can tell whether or not Bitcoin is undervalued or overvalued. Right now, it's sitting in a value of about 2.19 or so, which isn't really overvalued, and it's not really undervalued either. Traditionally, its value is under 1, in which Bitcoin is the most undervalued. You can see here back in 2022, when it was actually negative for a little while, so that's actually huge. But normally, over the past couple of months, and going back to December of 2024, it's kind of peaked at about 3.3 or so in the threes. Right now, we're just sitting at about 2.19. Now, this kind of compares to where it was the lows earlier this year at about April when it was 1.5. So we're still kind of in between these two levels. But Bitcoin right now, not oversold or not, it's not undervalued, but it's not overvalued at the same time. And there's still significant room to run. Usually with these, the bull market tops, we go all the way to about 7 or so, just to give you an idea. So that's pretty nice upside over a 3x potential when we take a look at the Z-score. And if this does actually get to those levels, it's definitely something I want to cover in a further video. But just know that it does have a history of going up to about 3.5, and then coming back down again as the market heats up. So that's all I want to talk about in today's video. Let me know what you guys are up to. If you think that this options expiry is going to be huge for this week, definitely leave a comment below. Let me know what you're going to be doing. I'm just holding on currently to my Bitcoin stores. If we do see another move below 90K, and especially we come down here to where we were back in April at around 80, 75 maybe, that's where I'm actually going to be looking to add some additional Bitcoin as well in this region back here where it was in April and March. But for now, I am going to be waiting very patiently. So leave a comment below. Please subscribe if you like this. If you like this information, if you appreciate this information, please like. Please hit the subscribe. Please hit the bell notification, and then you can see more of my videos when they actually get published. And then also follow me on X and Threads as well. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.